you need a commitment on the 75 first. Is that the first step?
That's the first step, and we have to have a plan for how we would do the rest as well.
We need a commitment to seek the 75.
Right.
First of all, for July 11th.
For July 11th. And then, if they approve the project, then is it 90 days after that?
90 days.
Then it's 90 days after that we have to come up with the way that we would fund the town's portion.
Of the 295 or whatever number.
Whatever you can.
So by July 11th, we have to have some sort of program in place to at least find $75,000.
Yes.
An agreement to move forward, yes, exactly, to look for.
Yeah, you don't have to have the 75.
You've got to be in the process of plan to get 75.
Right, and we have to have,
seek it. That's a good way to put it.
we have to have the plan in place by July 11th, and we have to have the money in place by the 60 days from June 8th. So you're looking at like the very first week of August.
That you have to have the money in place.
That you have to have the money in place.
A commitment.
A commitment.
A commitment.
Commitment.
Not necessarily the checkbook, but for example, if you were going to take it to a town meeting, you'd have to have had a town meeting where the voters approved finding the money. However you do it.
That's a rather aggressive time frame.
We know.
They call it accelerated.
I call it aggressive.
It's 55% of the cost. And you have to
I know,
move,
but-
so.
But are you,
It's to be very clear, it is not the only time we will be invited to participate. It is the accelerated program. Getting back in line, it could be 2, 3, 4 years. I think there was concern about the health of the roof.
we don't, if preference, we don't want to wait that long, but they may be asking us to jump a hurdle that's just too high. What's in the capital stabilization account?
At town meeting, you voted to put in $100,000.
$1,000.
And we had a little, I don't know if it was 20,000 or 30,000.
So it takes a town meeting to take that back out, so it takes a 2/3 vote to take that back out, which makes logical source. Finance committee's upstairs, aren't they not?
John's aware of why we.
I would, if you people, I think it's appropriate to have them come, at least John come down and discuss this.
I sent him all the documentation that we have.
So the first thing is we got to find you $75,000 or have a plan to come up with $75,000.
And I think that is the outside figure. It is an estimate.
Right.
I believe you get a building committee together.
Up to $75,000.
Plus, we also have 100 in the other for your account.
Yeah, but we just put that there. It's so
I know,
hard to
but,
take it
you know.
out. As soon as we put it in, it does not accomplish the goals that it was put in there for.
But we can't have a roof falling down.
No, but, and I'm gonna, as I was on the building committee for that building, is anybody sealing the blocks up there like we've been harping on for years?
A couple years ago, we ended up sealing the block on, I think, the gym wall and the wall between the preschool.
Yeah.
And because that's when the rain gets heavy and goes
comes right in there.
that way, there's leaking.
It's been that way since the day the building was built, and I still don't understand why we didn't fight with an architect who didn't specify to seal the block internally.
We, at one point, I put on RFP for engineers and architects to look at it. I had a bunch of people looking at it, we never went through with it. We sealed the block instead, but they talked about the internal system, that it could have been installed faulty.
There is none.
Masonry, where it's supposed to come out.
There is no sealant in that block. When we went back, the specifications did not include it.
Right, but there's supposed to be a system where when it leaks within the wall, it comes down
But it
and
doesn't.
comes out. But there's blockages in the wall or something, or it just doesn't work.
Right. John, you are aware of the school's problem?
Yeah.
Yes? No?
I sent you this stuff about the roof, about the north.
Oh, okay, this is about, the roof.
Yeah.
Right, and there's an accelerated,
It's an accelerated,
Process.
it's not accelerated, it's very aggressive. We have to, by July 11th,
Gotta find the
funding.
funding. Yeah.
So the obvious place to find the funding is the stabilization account that we just managed to establish again.
Oh, the operational stabilization.
No, I would go with, since this is a building, I would go with the capital myself, but whatever you guys think, we'd have to have a town meeting in order to take the
We
money
need money just for the survey and study first, right?
first.
$70,000
That's the first,
to-
yeah. Then we gotta come up with the other
Yeah.
295, if the estimates hold.
Can't we do a debt service on that?
Yeah, we could do it as a, I mean, the first thing they needed by July 11th is the 75,
There's a plan to get the 75. We don't
or a
I was gonna say,
plan.
plan we can come up with the
Actually, for July 11th, we need signatures saying that you're,
We're gonna do it,
saying
do it,
move on.
right.
I would say we,
And then you need to do the votes or whatever. it takes
could
to
you
get the
do
money.
something as an approval by the board that you can bring to the town meeting?
Well, that's what I'm saying, but then where do we come up with 295? The 75, while I don't like doing it, we got a pot to take it from.
Yeah.
The 295, we gotta do a debt exclusion, and then that's gonna
You
take,
can't clear out the stabilization fund for that.
oh, even if we did, it wouldn't be enough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take the other stabilization.
Yeah, we'd have to clear out both of them.
Right, I wouldn't take the other one to do it. If it's not a debt exclusion, then it's not gonna roll.
Yeah, you gotta do this. And I can't see the town saying no to that. Is it, how much is the total budget, 300?
Well,
Estimated.
The roof is estimated at 650, based on latest estimates by the.
Wanna get
company,
Eileen in
but
here
not-
for a special
not
town meeting?
yet. Yeah, then there's owner's project manager and feasibility and schematic drafting or architect fees.
Now, is the Mass Building Authority gonna fund this?
Yes.
Yes.
It's up to 55%.
And they're gonna do what debt service on their own, I'm sure. So that's the only way we can do it.
I just sent Reggie to get Eileen to see what we can do for scheduling. If we're gonna do a special,
And we wouldn't want to miss,
well, I mean, how are we gonna get a special town meeting in the summer? I mean, the earliest you could do is like September.
And what's the minimum number we need there?
On number, quorum, 120, 100, I think.
no, I thought it was 25, isn't it?
Oh, 25, yeah,
25.
25.
I can get 25 people there.
We're almost there now.
If
It's
it's select board
the,
finance committee, you've got half of that.
the reason why they put the roof on the accelerated program is they actually came down and spent the day with us and looked up through the whole building, and then they went up on the roof.
Yeah.
And there's 3 different roofing systems, not to mention the leakage in the building, plus if you go to preschool, there's like plastic in the ceiling going down into a
it doesn't
bucket.
seem like
Back
there's
to the
much
old days.
choice.
We're back to the old days when the plastic used to run to the barrels.
Yeah, and that's, you know, and if there's a heavy rain, you get in between where the two buildings join, and in between where the preschool is, you get water.
Who's gonna draw up the plans and everything for this?
That'll be part of what we're looking for the
75.
project manager and schematic
We have to
drawings.
hire a project manager.
Yeah.
From an approved list through the.
MSBA.
Right. It's gonna be 149 projects, so we gotta approve it by,
You'll need a building committee appointed by the board.
yeah.
Regular meetings posted, yes, and then hiring interviews of the owner's project manager.
They're paid 75% for the school.
It's just a very tightly regulated process.
Yeah.
If you wanted it,
Long time ago.
When are you finished paying for the school bond?
I think it's next year.
yeah, we're getting towards the end, but I don't know where we are.
Because that's like, this year was like 390,000 plus another 85 in
So the school-
interest that was in the budget.
Yeah, the school and the library, I think, drop off pretty close to the same time.
So,
Remember the town meeting this year, we were approving the debt service, I remember saying,
Right.
one more year.
Right.
And it's done.
But the anticipation was, we were gonna take that service and put it over onto a public safety complex.
But we can sell it at a town meeting that, starting next year, you really won't notice the difference because
Right.
one will be going off, the other will be going on.
Right. Famous,
At a lesser rate.
yeah. Because didn't we talked about paying that off at some point in time to try and save that extra interest. Didn't Donna come in and talk to us about maybe paying that off? I forget.
I thought she.
I know she refinanced.
manipulated some
Yeah, she
of it
refinanced.
already.
Maybe she did.
Save some money, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have Eileen come in to see what the scheduling would be for a town meeting. I'm just saying myself, September seems like we'd be,
Is there a committee? The building authority, do we have to do it by a certain time?
Yeah, that's the thing, that we have to have the funding, and the funding has to be in place.
The funding for the project manager and the schematics have to be in place within 60 days of when they voted, which was June 8th.
So July, August.
Then it
Tell me,
goes,
first week of August.
We can't have a town meeting that fast.
then it goes back to them, and
Oh, wait a minute, we are, because it's June.
they vote, and within 90 days of that time, you have to have all the funding in place.
So we might as well have one town meeting. That's the hard part, because there's a cost to each town meeting.
Right?
One for the debt, for the,
I don't know how you're gonna do this. I mean, I'm certainly in favor of it, but I don't know how we can do this.
The thing is, there's nothing else we can do, we need the roof.
right, we got to make it work, so.
We need to talk about scheduling a special town meeting.
Okay.
Are you Eileen tonight?
Eileen is the one to talk to, but when do you want to have it?
We need a commitment to spend $75,000 from the stabilization account by August 8th.
Probably not the 8th.
Okay. You're not going to get a date tonight, but I can arrange for tomorrow.
And I can certainly call MSBA to see if there is leeway or what their time frame is going out in that direction.
I mean, that would be but it's foolish to have one town meeting to try and do the $75,000 and then another town meeting to try and do a debt exclusion. What is it, do you remember what it costs for a town meeting?
I think it was $1,500.
That's the number, I was gonna say 12.
It's really a lot of money, for just one or two articles.
Right.
Besides, people aren't going to come out for one or two articles.
No, I know.
How long, what's the minimum time frame to advertise the town meeting?
I'm not sure.
I asked Eileen, when this all came down, I asked her how quickly we could get a special town meeting together, and she had said, and I don't know if this is law or her preference, but she had said that she
Same
would
thing.
like 5 weeks. Well, she had
That's
like
her preference,
a
I
5-week notice.
If you'd like me to call her, I will, and I bring the phone and you can talk.
I think this is urgent enough that we would like to call her if she's
Do you know
available.
her number? I can put her on speakerphone here.
It's either 7 or 14 days to post the warrant,
Yeah.
prior notice. So then we have to draft the warrant.
Has to be reviewed by town council.
Correct.
There is language in the proposed project schedule that says the district must comply with the deadline dates shown below or propose an alternate means of accomplishing the task within the 18-month duration. That leads me to believe there's a little bit of flexibility in
If
that.
we could get to September or later in August for a town meeting, so we could get our ducks in a row to do both the $75,000 and to do a debt exclusion, because then we have to have an election, don't we, for the debt exclusion?
I would think that if we propose to them a date that is not too far out, that shows good faith and, again, an acceleration, I would think that they would accept that.
Eileen, sorry to bother you. The local school committee is here with a proposal to redo their roof, but it's on an accelerated program from the state. And we have to have a town meeting, one, to transfer money from the stabilization, one of the stabilization accounts for $75,000, and two, we probably would end up having to do a debt exclusion. How soon can we, does debt exclusion require an election too? So that's an election too. So we have to have an election and then a town meeting for a debt exclusion. But we can take the 75 from the stabilization, that's easy to do if the town meeting agrees. How long, what would,
Election.
3 weeks. But how about for the election? And which comes first, the election or the town meeting? The election. And then town meeting. So you need 5 weeks for the election. So making the assumption we did the election first, and then wanted to do a town meeting for both items later, how much longer after the election do we do the town meeting? The week after. Okay, and how much does each of those cost? It almost looks that way. Is there, we don't have another election coming up, or any reason to have an election, right? So we can't piggyback this on anything. It would be a single question election. 1,500.
What's the minimum number of voters?
Noon to, yeah. And what about, how much does the town meeting cost? Okay.
Mike, can we put it on the primary in September?
Reggie just asked if we have a primary in September? Can we piggyback? Too late. Now, the election obviously is a simple majority, correct? Or is that a three-quarter? Simple majority, but town meeting is a third, two-thirds. And we don't need it, there's no minimum number of voters for the election, but there would be a minimum number of town meeting members, quorum, which is 25. Okay. Anybody?
Does that include the boards? Can they be counted towards the 25? Or does it have to be 25?
Yeah, we're still, we're citizens. I'm sorry, yeah, okay. Thank you, Eileen. Bye now. Thank you. So it looks like the first thing that needs to be done is an election
In 5 weeks.
in 5 weeks. And then put both items on a town meeting to, one, to transfer the money out of the 75 out of stabilization, and two, then to vote a debt exclusion, which would be unnecessary, for instance, if the election didn't approve the debt exclusion.
It's got to be approved twice?
Yeah, got to go through the election and then go to town meeting and get it approved. So if the election fails, town meeting's unnecessary. Not only $100 for the town meeting, it's $1,300 for the election.
How much for the town meeting?
She said about $100.
Oh.
50 to $100, so.
We've been spending up to between $1,500 and $2,000 a year to patch the road.
No, I know. It's not money. It's not money that I'm suggesting. But if it's trying to do it the most economical way,
But if it doesn't pass the election, that means we're not doing it.
we're not doing it. So, I mean, we can pick the way we want to do it. Do the town meeting. If it fails the town meeting, then you don't have to have the election either. But you need
Because
the
election comes first.
well, you need the longer lead time. It doesn't, yeah.
Didn't she say the election comes first?
She said the election comes first.
Can you do them?
And then you need, huh?
Can you do them both on the same night?
She's not, well, she said she needs a week after 1 week after the election, she could do a town meeting. So you're talking 5 weeks out for, let's push you August, beginning of August, and then middle of August for your,
No, actually, 5 weeks from today is the 31st of July.
okay.
And then 1 week later will be the 7th of August.
There's going to be a July 11th date just to get information to the MSBA saying that the board has approved to move forward.
All right, so that's what we need to do tonight.
Please.
We need to make, this board needs to decide whether or not we wish to go forward with the plan to replace the roof and request the superintendent to buy us whatever time that we can from the building committee or building authority. And then they want to constitute a building committee and everything else in that length of time too.
No, not necessarily in that length of time. I think what you're agreeing to in the initial compliance is agreeing to form a building committee.
Form a building committee.
I don't think that it makes sense to form a building committee until you have approval to access the funds.
But who's going to do the project manager and all that? Who's going to hire them?
you would hire them after you've appropriated the funds.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is.
Move to instruct the superintendent to move forward with the project, and then we'll support it.
Can I just say so moved? So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I bring it forward? This is the terms and conditions for one signature. It requires yours, mine, and the school committee chair.
Let's just make sure we all know. So,
And those are all in your packet.
oh, okay.
Yes, they are.
Just put the whole thing.
Yes, and I put them back to back. I'm just saving a little paper there.
So, type top line.
Yes, please, Chief Executive.
That's a big title for nothing.
I have to call you chief.
Careful.
My signature was only worth something.
All the children will be happy.
Thank you very much for your time.
Just to put this in perspective, Megan was in first grade when we started building the school, and she was graduating from high school when it was finished.
Oh, my God.
Just to put it in perspective.
As soon as we get a vote tomorrow night, school committee.
Okay, thank you.
I think 15 years I was on that committee.
Well, thank you for doing that. My kids went to that school.
And mine never went to the better school.
Yours, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have to see if we can live up to that schedule.
Well, Craig's going to work on getting some flexibility in the dates, and we'll,
Yeah, the more time we can get, obviously, the better off.
oh, I agree.
Summer would be awfully hard to run an election and do a town meeting in that length of time.
We'll get no argument, but we will do the best we can with what we've got and what they say.
I appreciate that. I mean, that roof has been a problem since when I was...
Wouldn't it be nice for our legacy to be that we fixed it?
I hate to say it, but I thought my first legacy was I fixed it when we did the new school. I thought it was done, and now it's no better than it was then.
Well, this is my last year, and so I would like to leave knowing that this thing we've been talking about, I got on the school committee in 2003, was finally done. So, anyway, thanks for your time.
Good night.
Thanks, Reggie.
You're welcome.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. That was our...
Can I ask you a question unrelated?
I only invited you down here for the other thing. You can't talk about it.
Just a problem we discovered upstairs.
What's that?
Getting a lot of requests year-end for the reserve fund. We're probably $40,000 over in requests versus what we have. So the police department is wages, I think, about $40,000 in request alone that we can't fund out of the reserve. So there's going to be large deficits in a couple of the budgets.
And we have talking to Mr. Kalita, Chief Kalita, I didn't get a chance to tell you, but he's got to get a computer person into the fire department computers. And I said we would do whatever it was necessary to get those opened up for him. So there may
By
be...
the time we pay that bill, it'll be fiscal 13 anyway. So
All right, yeah.
that's okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I was going to come up and tell you that there may be, I don't know what money, do we know what money the fire department has left in for expenses?
2,600, I think.
Yeah, a couple thousand of my expenses.
Not over the bills that are expended. Well, again, it'll be fiscal 13
Yeah.
anyways. It's fiscal 13 is
Okay,
next week.
so, all right, so that's
Check
okay.
what bills I have there.
Otherwise, there's going to be a big deficit to reconcile at the end of the year.
Where are we going to find the money?
That's up to the
Especially,
accountant.
huh?
That's up to the accountant.
Especially since we just spent $75,000 more dollars.
Like every year, there's some lines that have more in.
I know,
We just need the reconciliation.
I know, all right.
So, but I was going to let you know.
Thank you, 40,000 in the hole.
Yeah, at least. I'll let you know, thanks.
All right. All right, where are we? Calendar of upcoming events? All right, the significant date is July 10th. That's when we decided we would meet to discuss the town accountant position. July 17th is...
We're doing 17th and 24th. right?
17th is police negotiations, dispatcher negotiations. That's what that is. Remember, we have a proposal and counter-proposal. 24th, everybody's on vacation, so no one's going to be here.
So we're not having...
Well, I don't know, right
I'm
now,
not sure if we're gonna have a
it's
quorum.
Reggie and I are on vacation, so after that, you're on your own.
And David's on vacation.
David's on vacation.
But why we meet, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out
You
why we...
you may have an open night that night. Will you do something and see if there's anything on that needs to be taken care of that night?
There's nothing scheduled. On the second page of your packet, you'll see there's nothing scheduled because I wasn't sure if we had a quorum or not.
Okay, is that a regular meeting night or an off night?
It's a regular meeting night.
Can I make a suggestion that you keep that on until closer to that time frame, and then if something...
need it?
You need it. If you don't, then just,
Okay.
we'll cancel it.
Okay. Because we're going to go back to the every other week.
We're trying. 'Cause and then August 8th, you and I are on vacation,
August 8th, right?
or 7th,
Yeah.
and that's at department heads. And then after
August
that,
7th is for department heads?
and that's, yeah, how come that's a department head meeting?
We're doing once a month. I'm not sure if you still want to follow that pattern of once a month meeting with the department heads, or
Well,
did you want to?
I think with the calendar being, the things being so full, although they didn't take long the last time,
No.
I think we'll leave that on for now.
We have a quorum
Yeah.
now, who's going to be here?
Hamden Ponds Association July 4th Parade. That usually falls to the fire department. Don't we usually send? Is there I don't have it in the package.
There was an invite.
Is there an invite?
I'll go.
All right, I'm not available.
Why would they be mad?
County- I'm guessing this Pomeroy Anvil mine, we should have,
It's actually, has been installed.
Oh, it has?
And they're doing some invitation of celebration for everybody, townwide, on July 4th.
14th. July 14th, okay.
July 4th.
July 4th,
July
yeah.
4th.
Oh, July, again, oh, that's the 4th also.
I think it's around 1 o'clock.
Yes, 1 PM.
I'm gone that week. Okay, Reggie, you got liaison? Select board update?
Nothing to report.
Nothing to report. Action list?
Nothing to report.
Discussion items? Town accountant?
Not until the 10th.
Until the 10th. Pending projects?
I think that's it.
Did we miss something? You're here? You know.
Me?
Yes. Okay.
Taking up space.
Anything else? Anything further that we need to address?
I'll move to expand the meeting.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.